What is going on, boys and girls? My name is SiahZ, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my Bulletstorm flak. Now this build revolves around using the Terror Anoints, and recently they allowed us to toggle on which event we want. So to get these Terror Anoints, you're basically going to have to toggle on the Bloody Harvest to get them. But this, build basically revolves around using light shows, and we also have Tizzy for bossing. Now we really only use Tizzy when we're going up against, really a tough boss that we just want to burst down real quick, or, if we're going against like Valkyries or something like that, if you just want to burst them down real quick, you can use our Corrosive Tizzy here. But generally we just use our light shows, and this generally just shreds everything in the game. Now, the reason why I call this Bulletstorm, basically, if you look here, while terrified, we gain ammo regen. So basically, when we are fully terrified, and we have max ammo regen on, we basically never reload our light shows, so we can just endlessly shoot them. As long as we keep going into our action skill and keeping our terrified buff up. And the way we proc it is on our nade. We have an action skill and we apply terror to ourselves every 3 seconds for the next 18 seconds. So basically, general rule of thumb is every time you get action skill, go in it. This way it'll reapply terror, and we keep refreshing that 18-second buff. So basically, we always have terror on ourselves, which means we always have ammo regen, and we never run out of ammo on our light shows. This build, it works extremely well. Like I said, it's very fun to play with. It does a crap ton of damage. It shards down like any boss in the game. It can do all content. It's generally just a fun build to do. Now you can try this with other weapons or use your favorite weapon, and you can throw on the Terrified Anoint. I will have to say though, if you're running stuff like torrents, and you run the ammo regen, it will help, but it won't help enough to where you won't need to reload it. Just roll a thumb of that. That's why we run light shows. We never have to reload them, and the damage is really good on them. So let's just get in, I guess, to we're running for shield. For shield, we're running a Revolter, just for the shock damage. It's really nice because we generally always run a fire light show or a corrosive. So having that extra shock damage to get down the shields and burst them down is really nice and helpful. And also, it just generally helps with our DPS. It adds a lot of damage on top of what we already do. Now, for our class mod, we are running the Bounty Hunter. This allows us to do, basically, is we have a 3% chance to activate any of our hunt skills when dealing gun damage, and bosses are now treated as human, beasts, and robotics for us, which means we just do more damage with them. And the stats that I have on here is just weapon crit and damage and pistol damage to up our damage even more. For our relic, we are running the Pearl. This gives us the most damage we can get. Basically, we're always going to be at max stacks, so we get 50% damage, and then once at max stacks, we get another 90% on top of that. So a lot of damage. Like I said, we're never having to reload, and we're always shooting and hitting enemies. So we're basically always at max stacks, so we're always at that. Always at that damage increase. And I have, like I said, a few more Tizzies over here and a Snowdrift for getting around the map, and that basically covers it for gear. So for Orange Tree, we do 5 out of 5 Interplanetary Stalker. What this allows us to do basically is for each stack of it, we get increased damage. We get more corrosive damage against robots, and then more action skill against humans. Couple that with our class mod. So each, bosses are treated as human, beasts, and robots. We get even more damage thanks to our class mod. So we do 3 out of 3 for leaving a trace. Basically, whenever we score a crit, there's a chance for 1 ammo to be added back to our magazine. What this allows us to do basically is it furthers our capabilities of not reloading, and furthers it basically this way we keep getting ammo back to our gun, as long with our ammo regen Terror Anoints. Basically, this allows us to become a full Bulletstorm build like Bulletstorm modes. Then we do 3 out of 3 for head count. Basically, whenever we score a crit, there's a chance for our action skill cooldown to be reduced. Now, this is huge because, like I said in the beginning, our action skill cooldown, is our main way of applying our terror. So if we are not going into action skill, our terror buff is going to go off, which means our terror ammo regen anoints aren't going to work, and this build is going to be completely useless. So basically, this allows us to keep going into action skill or into fadeaway, and allowing us to keep applying our terror buff. Then we do 5 out of 5 for Hunter's Eye. Basically, we gain bonuses when fighting different type of enemies. So more crit against humans, more armor damage against robots, and more damage reduction against beasts. Then we do 3 out of 3 for Big Game. Our Hunter skills become more effective and have a longer duration. So basically, just more duration and then more effect. Allows our Hunter skills to become more powerful. Then we do 3 out of 3 for Most Dangerous Game. Basically, whenever we kill a badass or a stronger enemy, we get increased critical hit damage and gun damage and handling for a long time, and our pet gets increased damage for a long time. Mainly we're going into it just for more damage and critical hit damage. Then we do 1-on-1 for Galactic Shadow. This basically gets us more critical hit damage, and enemies are less likely to attack us. So this is a good survivability skill. Allows us to get behind enemies and shut them down real quick while they're focused on our pet. Then we do 2 out of 3 for Grim Harvest, more gun damage and action skill damage, and our pet gets increased damage, but we don't really care about our pet for this build, it's all about us. Then we do 1 out of 1 for Megavore. Now what this does basically is we get a chance to crit on any part of the body. We get a 20% chance to, so couple this with our head count for action skill cooldown. It's a very nice synergy between these two skills, and basically allows us to keep going into fadeaway, and then that also synergizes even more, like I said, with our Terra buff, which allows us to get our Terranoid. So then for Green Tree, we do 5 out of 5 for self-repairing system, more max health and health regen. Now I was looking at like Sikkim and all my BFFs and stuff like that, but like these 3 skills really don't do anything for us. So I just wanted to go for 5 out of 5 in self-repairing systems. Then we go 5 out of 5 for ferocious attack. Basically after we shoot an enemy, we gain a stack of ferocious attack, and for each stack we get more gun damage, handling, and our pet also gets increased damage. So even more damage on top of what we're doing already. Then we can do 1 out of 5 for overclocked, basically to get more fire rate. Like I said, these other 3 skills don't do anything for us, so this gives more damage since it's all about us and not our pets or anything like that. And we have a good enough survivability as is. I wanted to go in here just for that little bit extra DPS. Then we do 1 out of 1 for like the wounds. Basically, when we're in fight for our life, our pet can revive us, and this is our like kind of main get out of second wind type of stuff, like get out of dodge skill whenever we get down. Basically, our pet is always going to revive us unless like he gets killed or something, but 90% of the time he doesn't. This is a must get skill to stay up in the fight. Then we do 3 out of 3 for turn, chill, and run. Basically, whenever we're consistently moving, we get damage reduction and we constantly regenerate health. Basically, this is really good for our survivability. And then whenever we stand still, we get increased gun damage and fire rate, which is even more damage. Then we do 3 out of 3 for the Fast and the Furious. Basically, well above half health, our gun damage and movement speed are increased, and our pet gets increased damage. So more gun damage. Now for Purple Tree, we don't do anything in Purple Tree. Then for Blue Tree, we do 2 out of 5 in Ferocity. Basically, our pet gets more damage, but we mainly just put 2 points in here to get down to the second tier. Then we do 3 out of 3 in Persistence Hunter, more gun damage and action skill duration. Then we do 3 out of 5 for Who Rescued Who. Basically, whenever our pet deals damage, we regenerate health, and whenever we do damage, our pet heals for a portion of our damage dealt. So it's basically our main way of keeping our pet up. Then we do 5 out of 5 for Frenzy. Basically, for each stack of Frenzy, we get increased damage. Then we do 3 out of 3 for Hive Mind. Basically, whenever we take damage, a portion of the damage shared to our pet. So another survivability skill, and it takes away from the damage that they're going to be doing to us, and kind of puts that load onto our pet. Now we do 5 out of 5 for Barbaric Yip. Basically increases our pet bonuses. The 200% increase is huge, and this is a good skill to pick up. Then we do 1 out of 1 for Shared Spirit. Basically, while we're at low health, a portion of all our damage take is converted into healing for our pet. So basically, it's another like offload skill to our pet, and just a heal skill, so our pet is always going to be up even more on top of Who Rescued Who. Then we do 3 out of 3 for Pack Tactics. So basically, all of our damage dealt by us and our pet is increased, and we get more max health. So a damage and survivability skill in 1, a must get. Then we do 1 out of 1 in Dominance. Now, Dominance is a big skill. So basically, what allows Dominance, what Dominance basically does is whenever we score a crit or melee attack, when we down the sides of our gun, we establish Dominance over an enemy. And basically, it's kind of like charming, like a player or something like that, and like any MMO. Basically, it turns that enemy into an ally for a short duration, and that ally, you know, fights, shoots the other enemies, so on and so forth. So it's really nice. Just kind of, you know, a getaway skill, stuff like that. It's like a look away skill on that enemy, and kind of like another pet on top of what you already have. So it's nice to get like heavies and stuff like that, and establish dominance over them, so this way they can help you in the fight. And that pretty much covers it for tree. Now for, I forgot to mention, but for skill augments, we are running Spider and Scorcher. Basically, we're running this mainly for the elemental damage, and since we are running fire and stuff like that for our light shows, this is going to give us the most damage possible. So this is a really nice skill. Then, obviously, our Fade Away. Without Fade Away, we wouldn't be doing as much damage as we would be doing. Then we go for Not My Circus. Basically, after Fade Away ends, our pet will taunt in a huge area. So basically, like I said, gets the attention away from us onto our pet, and allows us to run around and basically just crap on all the enemies. And then we do Gorillas in the Mist just so our fadeaway doesn't end after 3 shots. And since we're not running, high hitting weapons like Jacob snipers or anything like that, this is going to be the best for this build. Now that pretty much covers all of that for skill tree and all of it for gear. If you guys want to play this build or have any questions like that, the link for my Discord will be in the description. Basically go in there if you want to download a save file, go to the Borderlands 3 save file section, and all the save files of all my builds will be there. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Discord or put on the general chat on my Discord, anything like that, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm usually always on Discord, but man's gotta sleep, so I'm not always on. But that basically does it for this build, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely hit that like button. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm, gets my video out there to more people, and just tells me that you guys are enjoying this type of content. If you guys want to see more videos like this, I do have more build guides on my YouTube, so definitely go check that out. And if you want to get notified when new build videos go live, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to get notified. But that's all I have in store for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy this build, and I'll see you in the next video.